Hi, welcome to Ore-atory. I'm your host, Lindsay Schultz, and I am also the CEO of MRC Recruiting. I appreciate everybody being here, and this is one of the first episodes that I am doing without a guest. So, really, my focus today is to talk about what I think might be helpful for some of our clients. And so, in reflecting what makes our clients and us most successful on their behalf, I have tried to distill some key traits to what really distills and renders the best success between a client and our organization, MRC. So I've come up with 5 key traits, and this goes across the board. I started thinking about clients that we've worked with for long periods of time. What are they doing that is really great? What do we really appreciate? What have we asked other clients to do because these groups have worked with us for a long time and we've rendered success with them? And so, again, from sort of multiple case studies, I've distilled 5 key traits, and they look like clear communication, open to feedback, engaged and responsive, realistic expectations, and having a long term mindset. So, I'm going to sort of unpack that a little bit as we move forward today, starting with clear communication. Our clients that we render best success with in any scenario, regardless of where I go from here forward, are clear communicators. And what I mean by that is that they're upfront about their needs, their expectations, how we partner, our participation through a recruitment process on their behalf. And all of that helps us to tailor our approach for them and understand their needs and really be on the same page together. And so we can talk about this in terms of calibration or alignment or an intake call, but really this sets the stage for success, and clear communication throughout the process is so important and appreciated, not just from myself, but the recruiters that work as part of our team, as well as the candidates that we're trying to recruit on our clients' behalf. So clear communication is absolutely paramount. The second area that I've identified as important, as I mentioned, is being open to feedback. And that really means, I think that this takes 2 prongs. Being open to feedback means that our client recognizes our skill set and that they're willing to consider suggestions, options, feedback, etc., even if that means perhaps adjusting a little bit of their initial thought on the job description as we move forward in a search. Also, being open to feedback as an iterative process. So, as we cast the net or start a search for them, that they're understanding that we'll hear information from candidates, and that having time to set aside and reflect that back to them and say, candidates are nervous about the specific commodity. Maybe it's lithium, maybe it's uranium, maybe it's copper, and it's been a little tumultuous. How can we provide them some clarity on your plans and what you intend to do in a market that is volatile? How can we do that better for you at an early stage? Or candidates are reflecting back to us perhaps that the salary range is low, or that they're accustomed to a different host of benefits. Giving that feedback allows our client to take that and run with it and modify as they can moving forward. We don't always expect that the salary changes. It's how we can negotiate the total package with them for candidates to have interest, or perhaps give them information at an earlier stage to be interested on the location. Maybe it's not in the most glorious place, but maybe there's some great stuff about it. How do we effectively pitch that to our candidates so that it isn't, just in the middle of nowhere, but maybe it's really a wealth of outdoor opportunities or whatever. And so just really getting that information and being clear in both the communication and the feedback perspective is an amazing part of our partnership with our clients. I think the third area that's really important is being engaged and responsive, that our clients stay active throughout the search. And part of that is our asking them to provide feedback on candidates, to perhaps let us sit in on an interview, to that we can act as a sounding board throughout so that we can talk about all of the resumes that they got sent that week, or the conversations that they had, or the download that they had between the hiring teams. So being engaged and responsive and involved throughout the process and responding to inquiries. We may find that candidates really are detail oriented and they want more details on whatever the technical processes are, or what the asset looks like, or whatever. And so they're being engaged and providing information to us as needed is really important in keeping that momentum of the search moving forward. The fourth one is realistic expectations. And this kind of happens throughout this process and is much, much easier when we have clients that are open to feedback and that are engaged and responsive and that are clear communicators, and we are as well. Realistic expectations could mean that you might have a must have list and a wish list, and marrying those two with knowledge of the current marketplace is really important. And so understanding the complexities of the marketplace and having a pragmatic view of what's achievable in a specific time period allows us to better align with our client's goals and achieve those outcomes on their behalf. If they're going to keep tossing in that unicorn component where it's like, oh, we'd like to have X, Y, and Z. And also, it'd be really great if they spoke 6 languages or would relocate to some very strange place. We have to be realistic about what the market has and what candidates' expectations are. And so being able to reflect that both directions is really important. But being realistic overall is certainly an asset, especially in a marketplace like we have today, where there are more roles and less people than we probably need on the whole. The last one is really having that long-term mindset. From where I sit, that means our client recognizes us as a partner in the recruitment process rather than a transactional relationship. They don't call and say, hey, Lindsay, send me 6 resumes for this. And maybe they interview one and never give feedback. That's a transaction. That makes me feel like it's a transaction. That makes our candidates feel like it's a transaction. We don't have the information that candidates are perhaps requesting. That makes our experience less great. And so having this sort of relationship of a partnership really is far more beneficial for our long-term success, I should say. Then we can find the right fit. We have the information that we need to know our client, to vet the candidates, to create that really awesome scenario where we get a win-win and a win. So our clients have a win because they have the candidate, candidates have a win because they've got a new job. And then at the end of the day, we have a win because everybody is excited and happy and moving forward together. So that long-term mindset, does welcome us to the table to have a voice and to be part of the process and not such an outsider. We are not a resume mill. We hate sort of just throwing resumes out there and not having all the details. So those are probably the 5 key things. There probably are a few others, but these really do set our excellent clients that render the most success with us apart. And it just creates a relationship both for us and our client and candidates to experience a far better scenario than one where we are waiting for feedback for forever, or don't ever get to talk to a hiring manager, or never get any feedback. So I hope this is helpful. I also think that this could be used internally for your teams in terms of a recruitment process. It just really is a very respectful, mutually understanding setup. And so I think probably helps inside a company as well as external. So that is my 2 cents for the day. I hope it's useful. I am always looking for feedback and any areas that you guys are interested in learning about or hearing about from our perspective. So please do share those with us. And if there's anything we can help you with, let us know. Have a wonderful day.